My knee cracked against the coffee table as I shot up from the couch. Pain, sharp and white-hot, flared up my leg. I hissed through my teeth. But it was nothing. A flickering match against the bonfire of rage I'd been smothering for 3 years. I heard a key turning in the front door lock, then the sharp, deliberate click of heels on the hardwood floor. I didn't have to look. I knew it was Catherine. Sure enough, a second later she appeared, holding Mia in her arms. She was still wearing one of those black blazers I couldn't name the brand of, but knew cost more than my first car. Her hair was pulled back, so tight there wasn't a single strand out of place. "Daddy." Mia saw me first, reaching her little arms out from Catherine's embrace. Her chubby cheeks were flushed, and she had a glittery star sticker on her forehead from preschool. Her voice was pure sugar. Any other day, I would have already been halfway across the room to scoop her up. Not today. The crumpled divorce papers in my pocket felt like a rock. My knuckles were white. I stood rigid in the middle of the living room, staring at Catherine's perfectly composed, unreadable face. "Catherine, I want a divorce." The words came out fast and hard, surprising even me. In the 3 years of our marriage, I'd barely ever raised my voice to her. Catherine's arms tightened around Mia for a fraction of a second. She lifted her gaze to meet mine, and her eyes, those cool, almond-shaped eyes that always seemed to be assessing something, narrowed slightly, as if she'd just heard a bad joke. She ignored me, turning her attention to our daughter. Her voice softened. "Mia, sweetie, why don't you go with Maria? She has some strawberries for you." Mia, oblivious, blinked her big, round eyes, looking from me to her mother. "Is Daddy not having any?" "Daddy and Mommy need to talk about something," Catherine said, her voice icing over again. She turned her head toward the kitchen. Maria scurried out, a dish towel still in her hands. She saw the way Catherine and I were squared off and froze. Usually, she'd find me zoned out on the couch watching some series or hiding in the den playing video games. My interactions with Catherine were practically non-existent. A standoff like this was a first. Not daring to ask questions, Maria hurried over. "Come on, Mia." Maria washed the big strawberries for you, even sweeter than yesterday's. As Maria carried her away, Mia looked over her shoulder and called out, "Hurry up, Daddy." A pang of guilt shot through my chest, but I gritted my teeth and held my ground. I pulled the papers from my pocket and held them out to Catherine. "I've already signed. Just look them over. If there are no issues, you can sign too." She didn't take them. She just stood there, looking down at me from the moral high ground she always occupied. Her eyes swept from the papers in my hand to my outfit. I made a point of wearing a hoodie that wasn't pilled and a pair of jeans I'd actually bothered to iron. I didn't want to look like the same timid junior analyst she'd married. "Cole, what the hell is wrong with you?" Her voice was quiet, but it carried the same weight as when she addressed the entire board of directors. "Did you go drinking with those deadbeat friends of yours again? Did one of them put some stupid idea in your head?" My grip on the papers tightened. "This has nothing to do with them. This is about me. I want out." "You want out?" Catherine laughed, a short, sharp sound full of ridicule. "Cole, have you forgotten who begged me to marry him 3 years ago? Have you forgotten who paid the $100,000 for your mother's surgery when she had her heart attack? Have you forgotten who gave you this house you live in, the car you drive?" Every word was a needle prick to my pride. Of course, I hadn't forgotten. 3 years ago, I was just another anonymous drone in her company. My mom collapsed. She needed emergency bypass surgery. I called everyone I knew, begged every relative. It wasn't enough. Not even close. Then Catherine found me. She told me if I married her, she'd cover everything. She'd even create a cushy, do-nothing job for me at the company. I was desperate. I said yes without a second thought. I thought, okay, maybe we wouldn't be passionately in love, but I thought we could build a life, be partners. But in 3 years outside of the clinical, scheduled effort that resulted in Mia, she hadn't let me touch her. We slept in separate rooms. Her in the master suite upstairs, me in the guest room on the main floor. She was gone before I woke up and home after I was half asleep. We exchanged maybe 10 minutes of conversation a day. And at the company, the whispers were deafening. I was the kept man, the trophy husband who'd married his way to the top. A gold digger. Even Kevin, a guy I used to be friends with, joked about it at a happy hour a while back. "Man, Cole, you've got it made," he'd said, sloshing his beer. "No work, big house. Just, haha, you get it." How could I not get it? He was laughing at the fact that I couldn't even sleep with my own wife, that I was nothing more than a piece of furniture in her perfect life. I haven't forgotten what you did for me, I said, taking a deep breath to steady my voice. That's why I put up with it for 3 years. You're refusing to share a bed with me. I dealt with it. People calling me a leech, I dealt with it. You coming home and treating me like I'm invisible, I dealt with that too. But I'm a man, Catherine. I have some pride. I can't live like this forever. Bride. She raised an eyebrow and took a step closer. She was shorter than me, but her presence was suffocating. What's your pride worth, Cole? Without me, you'd still be in some roach-infested studio in Queens. Your mother might be. Don't you dare bring my mother into this. The yell tore out of me before I could stop it. Catherine, I know I owe you, but I can pay you back. I haven't wasted a dime of the allowance you give me. I've saved it all. I have my old savings, too. It's not as much as you make, but I can pay you back in installments. I just want my freedom. I want a real marriage. Is that too much to ask? Catherine's face hardened. She snatched the papers from my hand. Without even looking at them, she tore them in half with a vicious rip and threw the pieces to the floor. You want a divorce? Not a chance. Her voice was glacial. Cole Walker, my marriage is not something you can just enter and exit whenever you feel like it. You bring this up again, and I'll make sure your mother knows exactly what a thankless, ungrateful son she raised. And how you wouldn't. I stared at her, my heart hammering against my ribs. Catherine, don't be like this. Mia is my daughter too. You can't threaten me like this. Me, she scoffed. If I were really cruel, I never would have married you in the first place. Get it through your head, Cole. In this house, I make the rules. You can either stay here and behave, or, she paused, her eyes raking over my face, or you can say goodbye to Mia. For good. That was it. The kill shot. She knew my weakness. I could survive without my pride, but I couldn't lose Mia. She was the only thing that made the last 3 years bearable. Seeing her smile, hearing her call me daddy, that was the only reason I hadn't snapped sooner. My fist clenched so tightly my nails dug into my palms. I couldn't say a word. Humiliation, rage, and a crushing sense of impotence washed over me, so thick I could barely breathe. Seeing my silence, a flicker of triumph crossed Catherine's face. She turned and picked up her purse from the entryway table. I'm tired. I'm going upstairs to take a shower. Maria made dinner. You can eat by yourself. She took 2 steps, then paused and looked back at me. And by the way, don't just sit around tomorrow. I needed to go to the office and drop off a file at the branch downtown. And with that, she turned and walked up the stairs, the sound of her heels echoing in the silent house, leaving me alone in the living room. I stared at the shredded divorce papers on the floor, next to a stray green leaf, probably from one of Mia's strawberries. I knelt, my fingers trembling as I picked up the pieces, one by one. For 3 years, I'd lived like a clown. I thought if I just endured it, things would get better. But now I saw the truth. I didn't even have the right to ask for an exit. Mr. Walker, are you all right? Maria asked softly, carrying a platter out from the kitchen. I shook my head, stuffing the scraps of paper into my pocket and forcing a smile. I'm fine, Maria. Just put the food on the table. I'll eat in a minute. She sighed, setting the dishes down. Mr. Walker, Mrs. Vance, she doesn't mean to be that way. She's just so busy. She cares about you and Mia. She really does. You see, she brought Mia that new singing teddy bear today. I knew Maria meant well, but she didn't understand. Catherine's kindness was never for me. She could buy Mia every toy in the world, give me a limitless credit card, and it would never bridge the canyon between us. I didn't say anything else. I just sat down at the dining table. It was covered in my favorite foods. Maria knew I loved her pot roast and always made extra. But tonight I had zero appetite. I pushed a few bites around my plate and felt like I was going to choke. Just then, Mia came running in, clutching the new singing bear. She climbed onto my lap and held the bear up to my ear. Listen, Daddy. The bear sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. The bear's tinny voice sang the melody. Mia hummed along, rubbing her head against my chest. I hugged her close, breathing in her faint, milky scent. My eyes started to burn. Mia, I whispered, if Mommy and Daddy lived in different houses, who would you want to live with? She stopped humming and looked up at me, blinking. Why would you live in different houses? I want to live with Mommy and Daddy. And Maria, too. I stroked her hair and said nothing. My mind was a tangled mess. Catherine had me cornered, using Mia as a shield. I couldn't fight her head on, but I couldn't stand another day of this. Later that night, I lay in the guest room bed, tossing and turning. A notification popped up on my phone from an old work group chat. Kevin had posted a link. Guys, check this out. Can you believe the nerve of some of these kept men? I clicked it. It was a gossip post from some subreddit. It was about some tech CEO's husband who'd been caught using her money to cheat on her, and how she'd kicked him to the curb. The comments were brutal, full of people trashing the guy. Serves him right living off his wife like that. I stared at the screen, a cold feeling spreading through my chest. Is that what they all thought of me? I shut off my phone and stared at the ceiling. A thought, dark and ugly, began to form. Catherine thinks I can't leave her, right? That I'm completely dependent on her. What would happen if I actually found someone else? Once the idea was there, it grew like a weed. I knew it was crazy, childish even. But when I pictured Catherine's cold face, the way she'd ripped up the papers, all I wanted was to make her feel something. Anything. Just then, a soft knock came at the door. It was Mia's little voice. Daddy, are you asleep? I want to sleep with you. I shot out of bed and opened the door. Mia was standing there in her little pink pajamas, hugging her bear. Her eyes were red, like she was about to cry. What's wrong, sweetie? I knelt and touched her cheek. Mommy was crying in her room, Mia whispered. I asked what was wrong, and she said nothing, and she told me to come find you. Daddy, did you and Mommy have a fight? My stomach dropped. Catherine? Crying? The iron-willed, always in control, Catherine Vance was crying. I picked Mia up and carried her to my bed, tucking her under the covers. My mind was reeling. Why would she be crying? Because I asked for a divorce? Or something else? Mia fell asleep quickly, her little mouth slightly open. She looked like an angel. Staring at her, my resolve wavered. If I did something stupid, would it just end up hurting her? But then the memory of the last 3 years, the loneliness, the whispers, Catherine's final threat, came flooding back. I gritted my teeth. Fine, I'll drop off her stupid file tomorrow. And then we'll see just how much Catherine Vance cares about her kept man. As I was drifting off, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Mr. Walker, you're needed to personally deliver the file to the branch office at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I've sent the address to your phone. Catherine Vance's assistant. I stared at the message and let out a cold laugh. She really didn't trust me with anything, did she? She even had her assistant babysitting me. Fine, I'll deliver the file. And then I'll find some fun of my own. I woke up to Mia's little hand patting my face. I opened my eyes to see her crouched by the bed in a pink dinosaur onesie, holding up a half-eaten cookie from last night. Daddy, have a cookie. I hid it. Maria doesn't know. I scooped her up onto the bed and squeezed her soft cheeks. You little monster. We can't eat cold cookies for breakfast. Maria's probably making pancakes. How about we go get some pancakes and syrup? Her eyes lit up. She threw her arms around my neck. Yes, and sweet syrup, with 2 whole scoops. I carried her into the bathroom, squeezed some strawberry-flavored toothpaste on her toothbrush, and watched her stand on her tiptoes to reach the sink, her short legs swinging like a pendulum. My heart melted. If it hadn't been for this little girl, I would have lost my damn mind years ago. Who could stand living with a beautiful wife you couldn't touch, while everyone behind your back called you a freeloader? As soon as I had Mia dressed, I heard Maria call from the kitchen. Mr. Walker, Mrs. Vance left a message before she left this morning. She said after you drop off the file, you were to come straight home. No wandering around. My hands, which were attempting to put Mia's hair into pigtails, paused. I let out a humorless laugh. Catherine sure loved being in charge. Now she was scheduling my entire day. I didn't answer, just carried Mia into the kitchen. Maria was arranging freshly made pancakes on a platter, golden brown and still steaming. They smelled incredible. Maria, don't listen to her. If I'm not busy after I drop off the file, I might take a walk. I grabbed a piece of pancake, tearing off a corner. It was light and fluffy, way better than anything at the local diner. You should open your own breakfast place, you know that? Maria sighed, pouring a small glass of milk for Mia and adding an extra swirl of syrup to my plate. Mr. Walker, I know you're unhappy, but Mrs. Vance, her bark is worse than her bite. I saw her in her study last night, looking at old photos of you. My hand, holding the syrup bottle, froze. Catherine was looking at old pictures of me, the ones from when I first started at the company, in my cheap, ill-fitting shirts and messy hair. What for? To pity me? Or to remind herself how much better I looked now? Let's not talk about it, Maria. I cut her off. I didn't want to try and figure Catherine out. Her mind was a maze, and I was tired of getting lost in it. I know what I'm doing. Mia was spooning milk in her mouth, splashing it all over her chin. I grab a napkin. Slow down. Nobody's going to steal it. You'll get a tummy ache. After breakfast, I changed into a black bomber jacket. All the Armani suits Catherine had bought for me were buried in the back of my closet. They felt like a costume. The jacket was comfortable. It felt like me. As I was leaving, Mia ran over and hugged my leg, looking up with her big eyes. Come home soon, Daddy, and bring me a strawberry cupcake, the kind with the little bunny on top. You got it. I'll get you the biggest one they have. I stroked her hair, another wave of doubt washing over me. Was I really about to do this? Sneak around behind her back? But then I remembered the sight of the ripped divorce papers and the sound of Kevin's condescending laughter. The guilt receded. I've been a prisoner for 3 years. Didn't I at least deserve the freedom to have lunch with another human being? The drive to the main office was brutal. I turned on the radio, and some call-in relationship show was on. A guy was crying about how his wife had given him the silent treatment since they got married. The host told him to communicate more, try to understand her side. I scoffed. Communication? I tried to communicate with Catherine for 3 years, and I hadn't even held her hand. A lot of good that did. I parked across the street from the office tower. I didn't want to go in and risk running into old colleagues and their pitying looks. Catherine's assistant had left the file with security, so I just signed for it and left. As I turned to go, someone called out, "Hey, if it isn't Cole, long time no see." I turned. It was Kevin. He'd been promoted to manager since I'd left and now walked around with a permanent smirk. He came over and clapped me on the shoulder, his voice way too loud. "What brings you to our humble abode, man? Dropping off something for the queen bee?" He grinned. "Or did she just get tired of you sitting at home all day?" A few people walking by slowed down, their eyes full of amusement. A couple of them were whispering behind their hands. Usually I just laugh it off, play along. But today something snapped. "Yeah, what about it?" I looked Kevin straight in the eye, my voice flat and cold. "My wife is the CEO. I'm dropping off a file for her. You got a problem with that?" Kevin blinked, thrown off by my tone. He stammered, "And no, man, I just mean you've got the sweet life. Big house, no work." The sweet life. I cut him off, raising my voice. "So what if I rely on my wife? She wants to take care of me. She wants me to have it easy. Can you get your wife to start a multi-million-dollar company for you? No. Then shut your mouth and worry about yourself." The sidewalk went silent. Kevin's face turned bright red. He stared at me for a second, then shot me a dirty look and stalked off. I watched him go, and to my surprise, I felt a surge of satisfaction. For the first time in 3 years, I had actually fought back. It felt good. It felt damn good. Dropping off the file at the branch office was easy. The manager there, a Mr. Henderson, was almost painfully polite, offering me coffee and calling me Mr. Vance, which made my skin crawl. It was the complete opposite of the head office. I made my excuses and got out of there as fast as I could. I couldn't stand the phony deference like I was some kind of royalty. The branch was in the middle of a trendy downtown shopping district. It was only 11 o'clock. The thought of going straight home, like Catherine had ordered, made me clench my jaw. I found a random coffee shop and sat down. I ordered an Americano and took a sip. It was bitter. I preferred the Tea Maria made at home. On a whim, I opened Tinder. I downloaded it ages ago as a joke with friends and never used it. But today, I just wanted to talk to someone, anyone, who wasn't part of my suffocating world. I swiped a few times, then got a match. A girl named Sarah Jenkins. Her profile picture was cute. She had her hair in a messy bun and a smile that showed 2 little dimples. I hesitated, then sent a simple "Hey." I didn't expect a reply. A minute later, my phone buzzed. "Hey, your profile says you like hot pot." "Me too." I blinked, then checked my own profile. It was from a year ago, a picture I'd taken with friends at a Szechuan place. I typed back, "Yeah, the spicier the better. Haven't been in a while, though. No way. I have the day off and was trying to convince someone to go with me. If you're free, want to grab some lunch." She sent a winking emoji. My heart started beating a little faster. Was I really going to do this? Meet a complete stranger? What if Catherine found out? But then I thought, she threatened me with my mother and my daughter. All I'm doing is having a meal. She started this. I took a breath and typed, sure. You pick the place, I'll meet you there. Sarah picked a Szechuan hot pot restaurant just a few blocks away. On my way over, I made a detour to a bakery and bought a strawberry cupcake with a little sugar bunny on top. I set it carefully on the passenger seat. No matter what, I wouldn't forget my little girl. Sarah was already there, sitting at a table by the window. She was even prettier in person, wearing a simple white hoodie and jeans. She looked fresh and uncomplicated. She saw me and waved. Over here, I got us a window seat. I walked over, feeling a little awkward. Sorry to keep you waiting. Not at all. I just got here. She pushed a menu toward me. Take a look. Their tripe and duck intestine are supposed to be amazing. We ordered a split pot. I wasn't sure how much spice she could handle, and loaded up on beef, veggies, and her recommendations. As we waited for the broth to boil, she asked me what I did for a living. I mumbled something about being between jobs, staying home with my kid. Wow, you're a stay-at-home dad? Her eyes widened. That's amazing. My brother can't handle his kid for more than an hour without having a meltdown. You must be really patient. Her genuine praise felt nice. I found myself telling her about Mia, about how smart and funny she was. I even told her the story about Mia drawing on the wall with Catherine's lipstick and how Catherine almost had a stroke. I was talking more than I had in months. The hot pot arrived, and we started eating. Sarah was clearly enjoying herself, a smear of chili oil on her chin. I passed her a napkin. She smiled and thanked me, her cheeks flushing a little. Just then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a woman walk in. She was wearing a fire engine red dress and stilettos, radiating an intimidating aura. It was Jessica Thorne, Catherine's best friend, a shark of a corporate lawyer. I'd met her a few times. She always had the same look on her face when she saw me, like she was looking at something she'd scraped off her shoe. My blood ran cold. I immediately looked down at my bowl, hoping she hadn't seen me. But it was too late. Her gaze swept across the restaurant and landed squarely on our table. It lingered for 3 long seconds. Then she pulled out her phone, aimed it in our direction, and I saw the flash of the camera. Without another word, she turned and walked out. My hand holding my chopsticks started to shake. Sarah noticed. What's wrong? Are you okay? You look pale. And nothing. I managed a weak smile, dropping a piece of beef in her bowl. Just got a mouthful of pepper. Here, you should eat this. It's really good. She bought it and started telling me about her job as a graphic designer. I listened with half an ear, my mind racing. Jessica definitely sent that picture to Catherine. What was she going to do? Was she really going to keep me from seeing Mia? Then again, what was done was done. Panicking now wouldn't help. I forced myself to eat, to keep the conversation going. After lunch, I paid the bill and walked Sarah to the subway station. Thanks for today, she said. This was really fun. We should do it again sometime. Yeah, sure. I nodded, watching her disappear down the steps before walking back to my car. The cupcake was still on the passenger seat, its bunny ears slightly lopsided. A new wave of dread washed over me. All hell was about to break loose. I'd been driving for less than 5 minutes when my phone rang. The screen glowed with 2 words, Catherine Vance. I stared at it, took a deep breath, and hit answer. Cole, where are you? Her voice was colder than I had ever heard it. It was arctic. It sounded like she was grinding her teeth. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I kept my own voice deliberately casual. Just left downtown. On my way home, I got Mia that cupcake, the one with the bunny on it. A cupcake. She let out a laugh that was pure ice. It crackled through the phone. You have the nerve to be thinking about cupcakes? Did you forget this morning that you have a wife, Cole? Did you forget who pays for your entire existence? My stomach clenched. She'd seen the picture. Screw it. I was done being scared. What about it? I snapped back. I had lunch with a friend. Is that a crime? Or am I not allowed to even eat with another person now? A friend. Her voice shot up an octave. Cole, are you testing me? You're out there groping some woman in public, and you have the audacity to talk back to me. Now, you listen to me. Get home. Right now. I'm waiting. If you are 1 minute late, Cole, I swear to God you will never see me again. She hung up. I stared at the black screen, a strange mix of fear and exhilaration coursing through me. This is it. I'm not backing down this time, Catherine. Bring it on. Let's see just how crazy you can be. I slammed my foot on the accelerator. The car surged forward, racing toward home. On the passenger seat, The cupcake wobbled, just like my heart, terrified, but also strangely, wildly alive. My palms were sweating by the time I turned onto our street. The streetlights cast long, dancing shadows that looked like monsters on the windshield. I kept replaying Catherine's voice in my head. So cold, so full of venom. But weirdly, a part of me was looking forward to this. It felt like a bomb that had been ticking for 3 years was finally about to go off. I just killed the engine when the back door flew open. Mia's little head popped in, a half-eaten strawberry in her hand. "Daddy, what took you so long?" Maria said, "You want to get my cupcake." I looked past her and saw Maria standing on the porch, wringing her hands. She hurried over and tugged on my sleeve, whispering, "Mr. Walker, Mrs. Vance is in the living room. Miss Thorne is with her. Please, be careful what you say." My stomach lurched. Jessica was still here? She stuck around for the fireworks? I grabbed the cupcake box from the passenger seat and handed it to Mia. "Here you go. Bunny cupcake." His ears got a little crooked on the drive. Mia hugged the box to her chest, grinning, so wide her eyes disappeared. She grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the house. "Hurry, Daddy. Mommy didn't even get mad at me today. She let me watch extra cartoons." The moment I stepped into the living room, the temperature dropped 20 degrees. Catherine was on the couch, wearing a black silk robe, her hair down around her shoulders. For the first time I could remember, she looked disheveled. Jessica was perched on the armchair beside her, swirling a glass of red wine. She shot me a look of pure disgust. "You're home," Catherine said, her voice quiet but loaded with menace. She tapped the phone sitting on the coffee table. "Look at this." I walked closer. On the screen was the picture from the restaurant. Me, leaning across the table to hand Sarah a napkin. The angle was awful. It looked like I was about to kiss her. Jessica chimed in, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Impressive, Cole. Spending Catherine's money to wine and dine some girl you met online. Are you really that desperate? We're just friends." It was lunch. I pulled off my jacket, tossed it on a chair, and sat on the sofa opposite them. "And you, Jessica, you got a real talent for photography. Is this a new hobby? Taking pictures of strangers in restaurants?" Jessica sputtered, clearly not expecting me to talk back. "What did you just say to me?" "I'm looking out for Catherine. She gives you everything, this house, this life, and this is how you repay her." "Everything." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Jessica, do you have any idea what my life is actually like? Do you know that in 3 years of marriage, I haven't so much as held my wife's hand? Do you know what people at the company call me? A kept man. A trophy husband who's such a loser, he can't even satisfy his own wife. Is that what you call a good life?" The room went dead silent. Even Mia stopped chewing her cupcake, her eyes wide as she looked at me. Catherine's face paled. Her knuckles were white where she gripped the arm of the sofa. She didn't speak. Even Jessica was speechless. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Finally, she managed, "Even if things are distant, that doesn't give you the right to cheat. That's a betrayal." "Betrayal?" I looked straight at Catherine, my voice shaking. "Catherine, you tell me, is this a marriage? You keep me trapped in this house. You won't let me touch you. You won't let me leave. You threaten me with my own daughter. Who is betraying whom here?" Catherine finally looked up. Her eyes were red-rimmed. Just like Mia had said, seeing it myself sent a strange pang through my chest. She ignored Jessica and stared right at me. "I trapped you? Cole, you're the one who begged me to marry you. I didn't force you. I begged you because my mother was dying." I shot to my feet, my voice rising. I was desperate. I thought we could make a life together, a real life. But what have you given me besides money? You barely even speak to me. I'm a human being, Catherine, not some pet you keep in a gilded cage. I never thought you were a pet. Catherine stood up too, looking like a cornered animal. I don't know how to do this." I froze. Hearing those words from her was more shocking than any insult she could have thrown at me. I always thought she looked down on me, that she thought I was beneath her. But this wasn't arrogance. It was fear. I was never taught how to be in a relationship, how to love someone, she continued, her voice cracking. "I thought giving you a nice house, taking care of your family. I thought that was how you showed you cared." Jessica rolled her eyes. "Catherine, don't bother explaining. He'll never understand." Then she glared at me. "She's laid it all out for you, Cole. If you have a shred of decency, you'll drop this divorce nonsense and stop screwing around." I ignored Jessica. I couldn't take my eyes off Catherine. It was like a dam had broken inside me. The anger, the resentment from the past 3 years, it was all draining away, replaced by a confusing ache. But a piece of it still clung to me. Even if you didn't know how, that doesn't give you the right to threaten me, to tear up those papers. A single tear finally escaped and traced a path down her cheek. She closed the distance between us and grabbed my arm, her grip surprisingly strong. I don't want a divorce, Cole. I really don't, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. I thought if I just waited, we would figure it out. That we could be like a normal family. Take Mia to the park, go out for dinner. Her voice trailed off into a sob. She was nothing like the Ice Queen CEO right now. She was just a woman, lost and hurting. My resolve crumbled. I was about to say something, anything, when her voice suddenly grew firm. You want this, don't you? You think I've been withholding myself from you? Before I could process what she'd said, she was on her toes, her arms wrapping around my neck, and her mouth was on mine. Her lips were soft, hesitant, tasting faintly of her expensive perfume and the wine she'd been drinking. Nothing like I'd imagined. My entire body went rigid. My brain short-circuited. I forgot how to breathe. From the corner, I heard Jessica make a disgusted noise. Ugh, get a room. The living room door clicked shut behind her. It was just the two of us now. And Mia, who said in a tiny voice, Mommy, why are you biting Daddy? Catherine's face turned scarlet, but she didn't pull away. She buried her face in my neck, her breath hot against my skin. You want a divorce, Cole? She whispered, her voice trembling. Fine. After tonight, if you still want to leave, I'll sign the papers. There was a challenge in her voice and a deep well of vulnerability. I looked down at her tear-streaked face and defiant eyes, and the last of my anger vanished. I wrapped my arms around her waist. I could feel her whole body shaking. Catherine, I started to say, to tell her that this wasn't what I meant, but she cut me off, grabbing my hand and pulling me toward the stairs. Don't talk. Just come with me. I hadn't been in the master bedroom in 3 years. It was just as I remembered. Huge, elegant, and cold. But tonight, with her standing so close, it felt different. Warmer. She pushed me back onto the bed and crawled over me, bracing her hands on either side of my head. Her eyes, just inches from mine, were shining. Cole, she said, her voice husky. I know I haven't been good to you, but I'll be better. I'll learn. We can be a family. With Mia, we can make this work. Please. I looked up at her, this powerful, brilliant, terrified woman, and I nodded. I reached up, pulled her down, and held her tight. All the frustration, all the loneliness of the past 3 years, it all just melted away. She wasn't cold. She just didn't know how to be warm. She didn't hate me. She just didn't know how to love. The next morning, I woke up because my back was killing me. I tried to shift, and a groan escaped my lips. Catherine was already awake, lying on her side, watching me. A slow smile spread across her face. Morning. You were surprisingly energetic last night. My face caught fire. I turned away, unable to look at her. You want to talk? You're the one who wouldn't quit. She laughed a real, musical laugh and reached over to rub my lower back. Sore? I'll have Maria make you some soup. 2. Replenish your strength. Just then, the door creaked open and Mia came running in, still in her dinosaur onesie. She scrambled onto the bed and poked my back. Daddy, what's wrong? Did you and Mommy fight again? Did she hit you? Catherine and I looked at each other and burst out laughing. She scooped Mia up and kissed her cheek. No, it's with you. Daddy's just tired from carrying you all day yesterday. Mia seemed to accept this, then pointed at my face. Daddy, why is your face all red? Do you have a fever? I buried my head in the pillow as Catherine's laughter filled the room. Sunlight streamed through the gap in the curtains, bathing the three of us in a warm glow. I reached for Catherine's hand and looked at Mia's smiling face. Maybe the last 3 years hadn't been a total waste after all. Downstairs, Maria was calling us for breakfast. Catherine carried Mia, and I followed, holding onto the banister for support. Catherine glanced back at me, her eyes dancing. Take your time. No one's going to steal your pancakes. I shot her a mock glare, but I couldn't stop the smile from spreading across my face. The table was laden with pancakes, syrup, bacon, and even a small bowl of my favorite pot roast from last night. Maria beamed at us. Mr. and Mrs. Vance, you both look so well-rested today. Catherine blushed. I sat down next to her and put a piece of bacon on her plate. Eat up. You used a lot of energy yesterday. She kicked me under the table. Mia clapped her hands. Mommy's blushing. Mommy's blushing. Looking at them, a warmth spread through my chest that had nothing to do with the sun. Maybe we'd been clueless before, but we had Mia, we had each other, and we had all the time in the world to figure it out. After breakfast, Catherine got ready for work. Before she left, she kissed me. Pick me up from school early this afternoon, she said. We're all going out for hot pot tonight. You've been wanting to go, right? I nodded, watching her drive away. Then I remembered. I pulled out my phone and found my conversation with Sarah. I typed out a quick message. Hey, sorry about this, but I'm married and we're working things out. It was nice meeting you, but I don't think we should talk anymore. I hit send, then put the phone in my pocket and walked out onto the patio. The sun was bright. The breeze was gentle. Turns out, happiness wasn't that complicated after all. It was just having someone to eat hot pot with, someone to argue with, someone who was there and was going to stay.